Hi friends, Svava Brooks here. Welcome to day, 25 on our journey. We are working our way through releasing your authentic self. You can get this book on Amazon or Kindle and join us here 5 times per week for a heart-to-heart conversation about healing after abuse and trauma. And this book is your guide, written by myself, written for you to help abuse and trauma survivors rediscover themselves. So, hello. Did anybody do some journaling today about our topic? I actually like this topic. You did? Anybody do some looking into day 25? What are we working on? Let me share. I'll start with our little truth here, right? Our beliefs, your beliefs, create your thoughts, which create your feelings, which create your behavior, right? Thoughts, feelings, behavior. So your thoughts, feelings, and behavior are actually a mirror of your beliefs. For a long time, when I heard this a few years back, I actually wrote on my mirror so I could see it every day when I was in the bathroom or brushing my teeth or whatever. I wrote, the thought, the T equals, or an arrow to feelings, the F, then arrow to action or behavior, right? Because I really wanted to understand this connection. And actually was on a call earlier today with a client who is starting to identify that sometimes he finds himself respond without him having a choice almost to certain situations, or people say something to him. And I was explaining to him where those automatic behaviors come from. Like there is a deep core belief that we hold, deep inside. And also if we are still holding tension in our body and our body doesn't feel safe, we talked about safety yesterday, we will often, your nervous system and your biology will just take over and respond instead of taking that, pause to listen, hear what's being said, and then I'm like, that's interesting. How do I want to respond to that? What am I gonna, what's my action here, or what I'm gonna respond to, or what am I gonna do about what's been shared? So, because I remember for myself, this used to be in my relationship with my husband many years ago, was a great challenge, because I would just immediately get defensive, always, just really defensive, that no matter. Okay, subconscious reactions. Yes, I hear you. For me, it was if I was feeling attacked, then I would just automatically go there and even just kind of shut down. I would maybe react, say something harshly. Exactly. Shaking, adrenalized. Yes, your adrenals, you basically, your nervous system gets activated and you're just taken out of control. This part of your brain is no longer driving. It's just this part of your brain who's just like, unsafe or being attacked, respond and get out, right? So it took a long while. So for me, having this in front of me for a long time, understanding it, why am I responding this way? I'm not broken or stupid, right? That, if these words seem harsh when I say them, but that just was something that I thought about myself for a long time. So it really helped me to understand that this is just how my body responds, and this is my brain just, coping, or what we've learned as a part of our coping, but I'm ready to shift it because clearly this wasn't conducive for a healthy relationships, because half the time my husband perhaps was talking to me, he wasn't attacking me. He was maybe just wanting to discuss something, or, you know, when you're married, there's all kinds of things you got to talk about, and he wasn't criticizing me, but I felt like he was criticizing me. And when I kind of understood this for myself, I would tell him and I would coach him on how to talk to me in order to help me, and I would do the same for him. But I would tell him, hey, when you say certain things, and especially like a tone of voice that would really set me off, that I would tell him, honey, when you say things like this, I add 10 daggers to it and then I take it in. I mean, that's how painful it is and kind of brutal almost, right? So it isn't that you're doing it to me, but that's what it feels like over here. And I want to heal this part so we can communicate in a better and healthier way. Nope, we're not talking religious beliefs. Nope. I was hoping that, I was trying to distinguish from that in the title when I posted it, but I was thinking, I'm sure some people will think it's religious beliefs. No, we're talking about your beliefs in your heart of hearts. There are some core beliefs that we hold about ourselves, and we may not, like I didn't know that that's where I was living out of. Like living out of my core belief was that I'm bad. Exactly. No, I'm glad you asked, please. If you needed that clarification, it's like positive and negative beliefs. So that's what we're talking about. So our beliefs do come from our core values, right? And the questions that I want to ask us today and invite us, to consider, because we pretty much live out of a lot of negative beliefs about ourselves, that we really have to train ourselves to start to choose positive beliefs about ourselves. So the questions are, what is one of your, positive beliefs? And then the other question is, how do your actions mirror this belief? So that's what I try to do as much as I can, is that this was really helpful for me. Yes, exactly. There you go, Sue. I know we struggle with finding it. You are courageous. Exactly. So definitely one of your positive beliefs about yourself. And it could be, work in progress. That's something that you're working on. But, as you identify what that is, hey friends, thanks for joining us. We're talking about our core beliefs, focusing on the positive. As you have determined, I am courageous, right? Then we take a look at how, what are your actions, your loving, kind actions that you are living out of that every day? How does that show up in who you are, in your day-to-day interactions with yourself and other people? This was such a big key for me. And this is the key to taking it from here to here, connecting all that things that you know in your mind to really bring it to your heart, and then bring it forward into your life. You living authentically, from your courage. You're choosing this for you. And as we do more of this, one positive belief at a time, we're exchanging that for maybe a negative belief that doesn't serve you anymore. Like I've shared, I felt really like I was bad. That was a core belief that I walked around with for a long time. So that became like the filter that I saw the world out of, right? Through. I saw the world through the filter, I am bad. So my actions always reflected, if I think I'm bad, I'm always kind of hiding. I'm not wanting to let people to be close to me, because then they'll see how bad I am, right? So that's how that shows up. So Sue, that's brilliant. So How do your actions mirror your belief about being courageous? Would you be willing to share? I mean, I just want to say, for one, you guys are here. You're showing courage by being here. Yes. I'm going to write these down. I like these. Resiliency. Nora. And Sue was courageous. And Rob, did you come up with one? What's one of your positive beliefs? I know you have one. I'm going to pause. I'm putting you on the spot. I believe in equality. Yes. I was actually just thinking that, Rob. I was kind of tuning into you a little bit. I can feel your passion and your strength to like wanting to be a stand for that in the world. So I get that about you. I get that about you. So then how does that show up in your life? The way I'm going forward with the new way of healing and relating to yourself. Yes, Sue. Yes, you are. That's brilliant. Oh, sorry, guys. There's a hair hanging out in front of my face. I love it. You are, exactly. And it takes a lot of courage. A lot of courage to start to honor our truth, to honor our needs. What do we want? What do we need, right? Listening to ourselves, standing up for ourselves. You know, in a culture where we're constantly being bombarded with that we're not enough or not good enough or whatever, not enough, right? That to recognize, you know, what's good for us and what do we need and what do we want, and I can have my voice, and my voice doesn't have to be like everybody else's. So thank you, Sue. I love it. Love it. So Nora, resiliency. Small town UK, my progressive views were political. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, my friend. I'm sorry. But as someone who considers herself progressive and more on the liberal side, I want to thank you for being that, holding that light and that energy for your town. Whether they know it or not, you're there. You've been placed there for a reason. Someone needed you there. So thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It is sometimes hard. Good. Exactly. It is your truth, and it's you know, it is valid. You feel valid, and you believe in that, and you believe in yourself. Beautiful. Love it. Love it. Nora, you want to share with us how your resiliency shows up? I know your resilience. I know you are. Giving her a chance to write. Having a sip of my tea. In the ministry I am, you have to have that trait, but personally, to be told you can't. So, but then to prove that you can. All right, so we have something in common. So when someone says you can't do it, you go ahead and show them that it can be done. So you're resilient, right? And persistent. I used to think of myself as relentless, and exactly, I got it. I know one when I see one. Actually, I love being here with you guys because I can definitely connect and relate to all three of you guys on a a little different level, but it's beautiful to feel into. Yeah, so I used to think of it as negative was being relentless, but now I see it as a good thing. My main struggle is always told I was stupid, so I find it hard to stand up for my views. See, I'm sorry, Rob. I am sorry. I'm sorry that someone made you feel that or told you that, and it's hard when we don't feel validated or even just heard. We just need to be heard. Exactly. I hear you. You're not. But it can create some hesitation with speaking or standing up sometimes. So thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing that. Love it. Exactly. I know exactly what you mean, because I find myself, I can have strong opinions and a lot to say about things, but in certain areas, sometimes I find myself holding back. So I can relate, my friend. I can relate. And yes, Sue, I can see that resilience and persistence has probably been there for you too. So, yep, we've used that force for good. We just have to make sure we don't exhaust ourselves and push everybody else out of the way. But Nora, I can definitely relate to, in certain situations where something needs to get done and no one is going to stand up to do it. I'm like, well, we don't have to have 50 meetings about it. Let's just do it, right? So anyways, I've, pushed a few things forward that way myself. So I can relate. So I want to challenge you guys a little bit now that we know that you are resilient. Okay, here, Nora, to come back from a dark past and to be where I am is how I show my trait. Yes, exactly. You are. Brilliant. Good. So the challenge is, what is one negative belief that you perhaps know you're working on? Hey friend, thanks for popping in, joining us in this conversation. Feel free to introduce yourself or say hello. If there is a belief that you recognize you're working on, right? Or could be kind of the underlying thing that maybe keeps you stuck, like in a rut somehow. And you don't have to share it here, but I just want to challenge you to perhaps just write it down, what it is, and how does that belief show up in your life? What is it, and what's the impact of that belief? And like you and Rob, you and I just shared, you had just made me think of this, is that actually sometimes that belief still can show up, that I hold back from speaking up. So that belief maybe still lives in there somewhere deep down. So I'm going to give myself this assignment. Holding back. And then on the other side here, we need to get some clarity and awareness and be gentle with ourselves as we are recognizing this belief came from somewhere, right? This wasn't just who we were born with, right? The whole journey here through the book is to really take back the truth and let go of the stuff that we know no longer serves us. So what is a belief positive belief that you are like wanting to take in, that you want to integrate, that you want to be, that becomes one of your identities, that like something a little bit on outside of your comfort zone perhaps. Are you guys up for that? And I know we're going to talk about beliefs again later in the book, but again, just want to help you guys create maybe a little bit of a habit. And isn't this the beautiful, this is what I love, group conversations, is that as we are sharing, things can come up for us. It's like we get reminded, maybe that's something I need to revisit, or maybe this is something I should check in. Thanks for the hearts, guys. So when I give an assignment similar to this to when I'm training facilitators for child abuse prevention, I help them to see that there already are leaders because they're choosing to learn a new skill and to go out into the community and talk about something that for most people is difficult to talk about. But I'm inviting them to really embody the strength that they feel like they need to stand in for them to grow, into this role that they're taking on, being, public speakers and trainers in the community. So that's what I'm doing for you guys and inviting you to do, is to take a look at what's a belief that I'm worthy of being shown compassion. I run from that right now. Okay. Worthy of, I'm going to write this down. Worthy of being shown passion. Nice. I like that. So you're recognizing for you, right? It's, about either about the worthiness part or the receiving part, right? Or is it about being loved? So I'm just asking questions. I'm just being curious. I would love it if you came up with, I am something. So Sue and Rob, did you come up with something you're willing to share? Like I said, don't have to. In private, Rob, I'm very articulate and clever, but I tend to mimic the crowd in public and play dumb. I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. Yeah, that's how we play safe, right? We play small. We hide, right? Because for me, it used to be I'm just speaking, without putting your words, my words into yours, is, who am I to think that I can, show the truth or be my authentic self and open and speak loudly or boldly, right? So I hear you on that one. So Rob, how about you, like, I am smart, or I am clever, or I am something around that, something that means, that means something to you, that like would, if someone said that to you, it's like, Rob, you're really brilliant. You're really intelligent. You are so intelligent. So, yes. All right, well, I'm gonna block this person. Hold on, guys. Just gotta block those guys. Whatever. I'll take the compliment, but not appropriate right now. So Rob, and that's cool because the belief I was given was the opposite. Exactly. And you know what, Rob, my friend? I actually would, and I want to honor if this feels really real for you, intelligent, that what comes up for me just in the little bit of our connection here and engaging back and forth here is that you have a lot of wisdom. I can feel and see and hear a lot of wisdom from you. So I don't know, maybe that feels too big, but I would really honor, you know, you and maybe suggest that you try that on. Yes, my friend, you are wise. I get that about you. I do get that about you. So take it on. Take it on. Because wisdom, intelligence, smart, yes, those are nice things, but it's when we can apply that through our experience and be wise. I mean, that's when your heart starts to sing, right? That's the music of your heart. And you know it. Good. Yes. Yay. I love it. Thank you. Our wise one. Love it. Aw. Well, just holding up a mirror for you, my friend. What you're seeing was already there. I'm just gently reminding you the truth of who you are. And thanks for playing, and thanks to be willing to see that and to own it. Because the world needs people who own the truth about themselves, because you have a gift. You are a blessing. The world needs it. The world needs you. There's like a buffet line of people waiting for us, for you to embrace your gifts. So thank you. Beautiful. Excellent. Woohoo! So, Nora, receiving, on the receiving end, being open and willing to receive, what is something that kind of moves you around that? I'm just thinking right here, dropping into my heart, just feeling in a little bit. I think you are very compassionate, Nora. How does that feel? I am compassionate. You don't get what I'm asking? Okay, I hear you. So basically, we were talking about, you had shared this new belief that perhaps for you is around wanting to feel worthy of being, being treated with compassion, right? So I'm inviting you to, for your healing, this journey that you're stepping into, that you challenge yourself to see some way that you want to embrace, perhaps, and you're seeing it in the future, like you're resilient, that your resiliency, and like for Rob, it shows up as wisdom, but for you, that is showing up as, you know, the thing that you want from others is actually something that you already are, but we can't see it yet. But I'm inviting you to take it on as a possibility and to think of yourself, you know, here's Nora, I am compassionate. And as you stand for that, you know, and putting that out there, then we will, like, how does that show up in the world, knowing that that's who you are? Like with your actions and interactions with people and with yourself. It's like we become kind of the change that we want to see. Does that make sense? And Sue, I'm also curious for you if you have, you know, yes, courageous. Yes, exactly. I hear you. I am compassionate, that you have a hard time receiving it. Okay. So I need to now be open to that. Good enough, worthy of love, so believing enough, lovable. Yes. Hold on. I'm right. Yes. Well, and here's the thing. The compassion piece is first towards ourselves, right? It's like when we believe in our heart of hearts that we are compassionate, it's like it's the key to us, both being treated that way and seeing that in our world. So I hope that makes sense. And just to give you a quick example, like for me, like I've shared before, I did not think, and maybe Sue, you can relate here, is that for a long time I didn't think that is where you get stuck. Yeah, exactly. Well, we could go a little deeper, right, Nora, with this, but I'm gonna just kind of leave this here for now. I'm just feeling in this space to just, let's just consider the possibility, right, that Nora, what does that, look like in your world? That you are, compassionate, grounded, wholehearted, loving human being. Good. So, and you and I can work on this some more privately. Happy to do that with you. But what I was saying is that for a long time, I didn't think I was lovable or worthy of love, which was kind of painful because very deep down, I knew that I have this huge heart. Just, I'm assuming you guys can feel it in my sharing, that I'm very kind and, generous with, my feelings and connection towards people, and really want people to feel seen and heard. And that comes from just really, wanting people to feel loved and appreciated. And I can feel my just tears just sharing this with you guys, because when I denied this truth about me, it was so painful. It was like there was like this half of me missing. And slowly, as I, healed myself, I allowed this truth to come back and to really own it. And I started, how do I live out of being this loving person? I wasn't exactly sure how that would look like, but I even started using it in my signatures in my emails. I will reply to things, with love and light, because I am love. I am light. I mean, it's so clear to me. Every, molecule in my body, is yeah. I mean, my friends laugh and tell me, Svava, you're like Wonder Woman. It's like her superpower, right, was love. Thank you. And I'm not shy to speak about it, because I really want to encourage you guys to just own, this part of you that shines bright, right? It really, it's important. So now, something that I hid for so long and that was causing me so much pain, because I didn't trust that I could love people. I believed that it would only get me hurt, or that I would hurt people. It would be misunderstood. But now, I mean, I love fiercely, and I love a lot of people. My husband knows. I mean, say I love you to a lot of men, women, children, right? And they know what kind of love it is. It's like, really, I mean it. And that's kind of how slowly and over time I've started to really live out of it, and it empowers me. And so when you really own this part of you that's, this belief that you have about yourself, it creates this knowing. Like, I know who I am. I know what I believe. And so that is like my guiding light into so many situations, hard, whatever. I always focus on, well, how is being loving and provide love for the person I'm interacting with going to help the situation? So Sue, you mentioned having struggled with being lovable, right? So I kind of can tap into this a little bit about you too, Sue. You have a huge heart. And you shared with me a picture of yourself as a little girl, and I could see her kind of just holding back a little bit for a reason, right? Because no one saw her. It was not safe to be her big, lovable, bubbly, happy self, just her true spirit. So don't know if I'm off course here with you, Sue, but I suspect that there is like something like that in there for you. It's like, I am love. Or the word could be, you know, compassionate, or you're on Team Sue. So just putting it out there, just like, exactly, Nora. Exactly, Nora. Yes, yes, exactly. Because that's the part that's, you know, keeping you from receiving it, right? Is that, yeah, you know that you are, but maybe there's somewhere deep inside a belief that doesn't think you're worthy of it, right? And that's the deep work of like digging deep. What's the story that you were given along the way that fed this lie, this negative belief? There you go. That keeps you from feeling this, being this incredibly compassionate. You have a huge heart too. I tend to attract people with big hearts. Good. Awesome. Awesome. Happy to hear it, Sue. Happy to hear it, Sue. So, yeah, we're work in progress. We are always just kind of exploring our authentic selves, one layer at a time, practicing compassion and kindness towards ourselves as we are understanding ourselves better and better. And remember that all this, you know, being kind to ourselves, practicing self-compassion and self-love, we aren't being selfish at all, right? We are actually, I feel like all of us are here to serve in some form or some way, and the better we serve ourselves, the more we have to give to others. And like I said, the deepest, the biggest gift we all have is kind of sometimes buried deep. And that's when we get in touch with that. That's when we know the truth and we know why we're here and we know why we serve. That's when kind of, I think people really, our message resonates because it's coming from here. It isn't coming from here. So, all right, guys, this was great. Thanks for playing, for accepting the challenge. It all comes down to dealing with our inner child. Yes. Both the inner child and then course correct those beliefs. Understanding where those beliefs came from that we are still living out of as adults, right? Because most of us growing up, it's normal that we adapt our parents' beliefs, and some, the beliefs of our culture, the beliefs of, our communities, right? We are given all kinds of beliefs, but what's normal and natural to happen is kind of, as we go through our teenage years, we kind of start to question. So, do I want to believe what mom and dad believe in? Do I want to, believe what my peers believe in? Do I want to believe in what the politicians are saying or my teacher is saying, right? And it's normal and it's natural that we start to question as we kind of start to figure out who we are as we go into the big world. But for so many of us who didn't get that developmental support into adulthood, we, are left with the baggage of very negative, harmful, toxic beliefs from our childhood. And that's often, what feeds how we feel so bad about ourselves growing up, because we are like, I can't change. These are like the core values from my family. And if I question these, I have to question everything. And yeah, sometimes that's exactly what we're kind of doing. And it's actually a good thing that we take one at a time and just like, okay, let's see if this is serving me. It's okay. And then sort through as we push back on change and all that good stuff. So yes, that's it for today. So I also having to question everything now. Well, one thing at a time. All right, how about that? One thing at a time. So, but for the most part is that when we look back and we start to question everything, it's like, well, actually I have a lot of good stuff, right? And who you inherently are has actually showed up already in many good ways. But it's, you know, just to get clear about it, right? And to maybe celebrate the strengths that you already have, that you have developed and have brought forth with you. Great. And then exchange what you don't want. I love this. I treat opinions like fruit rather than heirlooms, so evaluate regularly and keep fresh. I love it. I love it. Brilliant. You know, and, you know, it's okay to change your mind, right? We can, it's like, well, this felt right, but then I learned something new. And you know what? I recognized I don't believe that anymore. I believe in this now. This serves me better. So it's not set in stone. But again, to understand where we are driven from, those beliefs that come up as thoughts that drive our feelings and then drive our actions. So, all right, my friends, thank you for hanging out again. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for your courage, for your compassion, and for your wisdom. Any other comments or questions before we log off? It's just a pleasure as always. You're welcome, Rob. Thank you. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks, Sue. Awesome, Nora. Awesome. So glad you're here. Good night, everybody. See you tomorrow, Friday. Woohoo! All right. Night, night.